Hello guys, welcome back to data analysis with Excel. So what we have for today is cell referencing. So we have two main types of cell referencing. There are the relative and the absolute referencing. So before we dive into the relative and absolute referencing, let's talk about the cell referencing. So what do we mean by cell referencing? So cell reference is when we make use of a particular cell in our formula or function. So if you have equals, and we are using this particular cell D5, so we are referencing this D5, we are making use of referencing it in this formula equals D5, the next argument that we want to put. So if reference that particular cell. So relative references, what is relative referencing? So relative referencing is when we actually is a default referencing in Excel. So Excel automatically store this formula. If I okay, for instance, if I give a formula, multiply a times b, which is this d and y. So d a and b. So I have d5 times b. So these are my cell. So this is my first cell, d5 and a5. This is a particular cell and another cell. So I want to multiply these cells together. So press Ctrl Enter. So when I copy this particular formula, so Excel will automatically check what is in the next cell after the first cell I have in my first formula. So if I should paste here, so Excel has automatically referenced the next cell, so it has automatically referenced it. So for the next two, it will reference, let me autofill this. See here, when I come here, after I copy this formula from here, it will reference this corresponding cell. Here too, it reference the corresponding cell in that particular cell I'm pasting my formula. So that's relative referencing. So for absolute referencing is when we in Excel we actually make a particular cell constant all through our formula. So like for instance now, if you have a formula, I want to divide this AB divided by 5, so I will make my 5 constant all through. So I have my cell F5 divided by this cell G3. So using I will use my shortcut key, which is F4, to make this particular cell constant. So that's absolute referencing. I want to keep referencing this particular cell all through in my formula. So even if I copy that formula, it will still be the same cell to divide my other cell. So you notice here I didn't make this one constant. This is still on relative referencing. So this is still referencing in accordance to the cell I'm pasting the formula. But here I've made this particular cell constant. So if I had to paste anywhere, regardless of where my the cell I'm pasting this particular formula to, it will still make use of this particular cell. So let's try to copy. So I should copy this. So see, this particular F6, it has referenced this because I didn't make this one constant by not adding the dollar sign or pressing the F4 keyboard shortcut. So here it is constant here. So like unlike the relative referencing, the two, when I have the A and B, when I didn't add any dollar sign, both are changing, but here this is not changing, it is constant. So let's keep going. Let me autofill. So let's check to here. So you can see it is still constant till this particular uh, destination. So this is absolute referencing. So I've made this particular cell constant all through in my formula or function. So let's try to use the function. Okay, let's say equals sum. I want to sum for this particular row. Sorry, equals sum. I didn't use my close bracket. So my number, so I want to sum. Can you see D5 to DE5? So that's what I want to sum. So let me close my bracket. So I sum this. So if I should autofill, so it has summed these two. Look at it changed. That's relative. It has relatively changed this particular formula. It has changed in accordance to what the cell I pasted the formulas to. So let's try to use for let's say equals sum this comma this. So now let's make this constant. Let's put F4, sorry, F4, so make that constant. So I added 5 here. Let's see, so 5 has been added to all the cell. So this is a constant cell reference. I make this particular cell 5 constant. So that's its absolute reference. So this is for the formulas, while this is for this function. So thank you. See you next class.